What's up, everyone?
What's in one?
Love our sports podcast. The New York Football Giants. Love that.
What's up, everybody? This is episode number 24 of Fourth and One, a sports podcast. Fourth and One is presented to you by Why Am I a Nerd Podcast Network, where everyone is a nerd about something. My name is Sean Farrell, and sitting opposite of me is the golden voice of podcasting, Matt Ferreira.
What's going on?
And the stat man said he would not return unless the Cowboys won. Thank goodness they did, because he is back. We don't have to deal with Chad Wonderlust this episode.
Is this the only time anyone's ever been excited about the Cowboys winning? is this the only time it's been good?
The Cowboys actually fucked me in Miami Cam over in our survivor pool. So
you want to talk about someone fucking someone, then I think it'd be disgraceful if we didn't bring up Ronald Jones fucking me right in the butt. So I lost to you by like 4 points. I needed just something to make me feel better about this season, and Ronald Jones was not up to the task.
Oh, Rojo.
Fucking Rojo.
Well, welcome everyone to our Fourth and One Thanksgiving episode. It's Thanksgiving Eve, as we were discussing before we clicked record, and an eventful one at that, compared to other Thanksgiving Eves. Anthony asked out his, or actually got his current wife's number at
current wife.
We won't talk about his ex-wife, but we didn't find out. So, Ant, just before I break down the episode, tell us the story. We all want to hear it. We're gonna talk about Thanksgiving memories. So let's get into it.
It's actually funny. We were at Jack's with I don't know. There's a bunch of us there. She was there with her friends, and she was like, "All right, we're getting ready to leave." I'm like, "All right, well, before we leave, let me get your number." So we exchanged numbers. Go back to Junior's. It's like 2 a.m. We go to Junior's, get some food.
Classic.
We're texting back and forth, and we're talking. And out of nowhere, she goes, "Wait, who is this?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, it's Anthony. We've been talking. She goes, "Why are you emailing me?" It turns out I guess my iMessage turned off, and it went to my email.
Oh,
so she
my
started
God.
getting text messages from NC Tar Heels 2317 at AOL.com.
That's hilarious.
And you came through and brought her in. So I mean,
and we're married.
Now you're married. So the AOL account did not scare her away.
Yeah, my UNC Tar Heels. It's always stuck with me.
Damn. Oh, hey,
here we are today.
Congratulations on your anniversary of using an email to pick up a girl.
Hey, it works. We're old. We're that old.
On this episode of Fourth and One, we are back to talk all things Thanksgiving, including tomorrow's NFL slate, college football, and Matt's Harbaugh meter, and Michigan's OT win versus Rutgers, the NBA, and of course the NFL. So what have you guys been up to? Anything fun this week?
I'm excited because I just found out I have Friday off. I was expecting I had to work on Friday, and I've got it off, so it's a long weekend, which means if you hadn't guessed it yet, I'm getting super fucked up tomorrow. So
I was
pretty pumped for that.
I was gonna guess fuck Ohio State, but
as always, fuck Ohio State. If you weren't sure, fuck them right in the butt. Although I will say I do have to align myself with two fans of that miserable place. I'm doing trivia at Bar A. It's Friends trivia, and two of my good friends are joining. But they're
now hold on. Have these people watched these episodes or listened to them?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, they both.
And
they're both well aware. Yeah, well, this is one of them's my roommate. The other is his sister, who was like, "You have a very serious problem." Like, no, my problem is Ohio State. Like, let's be honest. Fuck them. Fuck everything about them. If you're in the Big Ten, you hate Ohio State. We all fucking hate them. God damn it, I hate Ohio State. But I digress. Move forward. Happy things I'm thankful for that Ohio State's not on right now. I don't know. Fuck them.
What do you guys do for Thanksgiving? You have any traditions, or you're winging it this year? I mean, we got some COVID rules in place, or
A little rough.
Suggestions. So, what are you guys doing this year for Thanksgiving?
I am going to my in-laws in the morning, and then we're going to my mom's for dinner.
Now you've
That's
cooked.
doing nothing.
You've cooked in the past, haven't you?
Yeah, we have, but we're not doing it this year. It's actually my sister's last holiday here. She's moving to Georgia.
Yeah.
What? Damn.
So, yeah, she's leaving in like a month, maybe less.
That's
So-
crazy. How's everyone doing with that? That's tough.
Dana, my older sister, is not doing so well, so
It's going to be an emotional Thanksgiving, to say the least.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you, Matt? What do you do?
Normally we just gather at families, but everyone's kind of scattered recently. A lot of my family moved to Florida. My parents are still here, and I was considering going there, but with COVID, I was like, you know what? Why don't I just go pick up food and then bring it back to my place and then FaceTime? So my mom has been instructed to recreate all my favorites. And I'm taking a massive tray back and eating it here at the house. I got my dog a special bone for it, so we're good to go. I'm fully prepped to spend it basically at my house, FaceTiming my family.
Yeah, we're just
What?
Oh, you can come to my house.
I might come to your house. I'd be down for
But
that.
hold on, you have to know one thing, Matt. Are you expecting to eat turkey on Thanksgiving?
Actually, funny enough, I just had this conversation with my mom yesterday where I'm over turkey at Thanksgiving. I'm over it. Because it's always like turkey's all right, but like it's kind of a drier bird. I've never been that big of a fan. So I'm like, I'm ready to do something different.
Make
All
a
right,
prime rib.
There you go.
Mm.
Is there edibles in the prime rib?
No,
Oh,
there's edibles
God.
next to it.
Oh God. Yeah, I might take you up on that after I do my family FaceTime thing.
Hit me up.
All right,
Got
so far I've gotten fuck Ohio State, fuck East Pass, and fuck Turkey. Or is that not on that level yet?
I don't know if it's on that level. I like ground turkey. It's just, the full on, oven done turkey. It's a little overdone. You know what I mean? It's never my favorite part of Thanksgiving food.
So what is your favorite part? Because I think that's it's a nice conversation piece following up.
It
Nice
is.
transition there.
I don't know. My mom's got this one dish she makes. It's we call it mushroom rice. I don't know where she got the recipe. I don't know if it's my grandmother's recipe, if it's like a Caribbean thing, but that's my absolute go-to favorite. I can't even tell you everything that's in it. I just know it's delicious. I'm not going to be able to do it justice, but it's my favorite fucking thing in the world. Outside of that, I'm a big ham guy. Gotta love ham. Sweet potatoes. And honestly, stuffing and gravy. You cannot go wrong with stuffing and gravy. Just smother it on there. Have it good to go. I'm all about it.
You're about to get critiqued here. Let's hear.
Uh-oh.
Stuffing is dog food.
What?
Where did that even just come from? What do you mean?
Stuffing's the best side for a Thanksgiving dinner.
Stuffing is crap.
Wow.
So what do you do? What do you
It's
do
just
with the
breadcrumbs.
stuffing? Yeah.
Stuffing is for people that can't cook. I said
Why?
it's stale bread. It's baked into breadcrumbs. Like
All right, what are mashed potatoes? Mashed potatoes.
I don't make mashed potatoes.
What do you make?
Got a point.
Well, since Matt might be coming over, let's hear the
Yeah.
menu.
Yeah, let me hear what's on here.
Yeah, this is gonna make or break you.
We got prime rib. We got stuffed artichokes. We got Italian spicy and sweet sausage stuffed mushrooms. We got roasted garlic Brussels sprouts. We got creamed of whole potatoes.
Wait, what?
Don't ask. I invented it last night. I don't know what it tastes like. I got pecan pie. I got apple pie. I got pumpkin pie. I got cookie pie. I got key lime pie. I got homemade ice cream pie. I got biscuits. I got cinnamon rolls.
Goddamn.
Can I say one thing?
What?
Mushrooms are fucking disgusting.
Really? You don't like mushrooms? I mean, I get
It's
it.
fun.
I know a lot of people don't.
It's fungus.
So
It's disgusting.
I'm not very picky. The only food I really don't eat is from now on is like chicken's feet and licorice.
I don't like. I hate carrots.
Really? There's only like 4 things I absolutely refuse to eat. And I'm going to get shit for this when I get lower down on this list because everyone gives me shit for the last one. But it's grapefruit, watercress, Cheese puffs. I don't like cheese. If it's puffy and cheesy in any way, I don't like it. And pretzels. Everyone gives me shit for not liking pretzels. See? There it comes.
We watched on Why Am I a Nerd? We watched you try a pretzel dipped in
blue cheese.
Some type of cheese, and you.
Oh God, the taste just lingered. I wasn't a fan.
I didn't. That was the first day I realized you found out you didn't like pretzels, and I ordered fucking pretzels. I was like, "Oh, this is stupid."
Well, yeah, but I thought you knew that. That's why you did it.
What? What? No.
I don't know. I thought that's why you did it. I thought that's why you ordered them.
Just to fuck with you.
Basically.
I would never do that.
Now we have 2 games tomorrow for our little Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's gonna be a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, for Ant, his team's going to be playing. Any predictions on the big NFC East matchup?
Well, if they played like they did last week, I think we'll come out victorious.
Yeah,
it can literally go either way this year.
You were surprised by the win last week?
Yeah, I was. They felt like everything they were doing just worked.
Who did you guys have last week?
Vikings.
I honestly think Washington's defense is going to be a little bit more of a challenge. I think like they've got a pretty good secondary, and obviously their pass rush is quite ferocious. Could be a difficult outing. Be interesting to say the least.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, I remember the one year when the Giants played, and they played the Broncos like the night game, and they just got destroyed, and it just kind of ruined my Thanksgiving. So I like being a neutral fan on Thanksgiving. I don't like to have my team play.
Yeah, can we talk about how do they select the teams that play it? Because it's always the Cowboys, the Lions, and like one random team, if I'm not mistaken, right?
They added that.
What do you mean they added that?
We were kids. They didn't have the third game. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Ant, can you look up when maybe when they started playing those games?
The history of Thursday Night Football or something like that.
Yeah. They did have the third game is newer, I believe. I think it's always been those 2 games. The one game at what? It's usually at 12.
12:30, I think.
12:30, and then there's probably another one at like 3 or 4 or whatever. But the third game, I guess they were just really milking it, trying to get as much. I mean, by the third game though, like you're passed out on the couch. Like,
you're sitting there
I never really pay attention to that third game.
This year's was pretty good though.
Cameron, you're right. 2006, they started a third primetime game.
Wow.
Usually it was hosted by the Lions since 1934, and then one game hosted by the Cowboys since 1966.
Wow.
And then 2006, they added the third.
How about that?
And the third, unlike the afternoon games, the third game has no fixed host and features different teams annually.
Huh. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, I think it's just a money thing for them. I mean, you got to think if like you're on the west, if you're anywhere else besides the East Coast, you're getting that game at a reasonable time to be able to watch it. If you're on the west, and you're on the West Coast, though, you're waking up at 9 a.m. to watch the morning game, which is cool because I have been on the West Coast when you wake up and football is just already on.
It's like, what time do you start tailgating for those West Coast? When do you get there? 7 a.m. and just like rage?
Has to be a pain in the ass to set your fantasy lineup though.
Oh yeah, that's got to be super stressful. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
Shout out to our friend in Dimitri in Hawaii, who's I believe the game started at like 5 a.m, 4 a.m. So I think he's dropped out of every fantasy league he's been in. That's impossible.
That's absolutely brutal.
Yeah, so Pittsburgh, Baltimore postponed. I know those guys in Baltimore, there's a bunch of positive cases. It seemed that the players on social media were pretty pissed off. Why do you think that was, though? Why do you think they were mad that they canceled the game? I mean, it is a holiday. Maybe they can't spend it with their families. Maybe they already have prearranged things. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Who knows? I mean, I think just in general, they hate when they're ready to play each other, especially against such a major divisional foe. Like this is one of the best rivalries in the NFL, and they don't get to see it through for a few days. It's got to be frustrating to hear that the day before, You know what I mean? When you've been prepping for this all week. So I think you're partially right in the fact that they can't get back to see their families, and partially just the fact that they don't get to play. You know, they're just stuck there now for a couple extra days.
Yeah. I think a lot of players were hyped up. It was a big game. I mean, they could really, if Pittsburgh won, they could really bury Baltimore and like kind of put them in a hole of, you know, they have to kind of win the rest of their games to make the playoffs type of deal, because they're not looking so hot right now. But
yeah,
it'll be interesting having those 2 games. And then, you know, I mean, we're so used to the 3rd game, like Ant said, since 2006, that it'll, you know, what are you going to do with your night? No football to turn on. People are going to have to resort to other forms of entertainment.
yeah. This like, what the hell's on? American Idol? Like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell are we supposed to do?
I don't know. I mean, we're going to have less people at Thanksgiving, presumably, in a lot of places. You know, you're going to be talking to those people all day. Like, what's left to talk about? Is it early
seriously,
is it early
like,
bedtime? Get ready for
it's like, so how was the food? Like,
you brought up your fantasy football team before, Matt. So I checked my score on Sunday. You had 1 guy left, and I was up by 8 points. I'm pretty sure Ronald Jones the week before for you got you over like 25 points.
he went off.
Something
He completely
ridiculous.
went off,
So
yeah.
I basically started just coming up with, all right, during the episode, I'm just going to talk about, you know, how I wanted Matt to get another win and blah, 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 blah. And I actually didn't turn the game on until like halftime. And I checked the score before I did. I was like, holy shit, Ronald Jones only has 16 yards.
Yeah.
Like I might be, and I believe it was like the Buccaneers were down. So I was like, all right, maybe they're going to be throwing the ball more. I'm turning this thing on. And he just wasn't getting the ball.
He wasn't doing anything.
He wasn't even in the game, I don't think.
Yeah.
Which was
It
crazy.
felt like it. And it's like I got a notification. I was about to turn the game on, but I was a little bit late to it. And I saw a notification in one of the groups I'm in. And at this point, I'm thinking it was a joke because I haven't seen anything to substantiate it, that Ronald Jones had 2 fumbles. And I was like, nope, not doing it, not touching this, not watching it. It's just going to drive me nuts. I'm out. Hard pass. I'll wake up in the morning and see what happens. And I was like, I can't put myself through that right now. I'll just be yelling at the TV for no reason.
Another crazy game was Miami Cam's game where he tied due to a stat clarification where they took a yard away from, I think, Darrell Henderson, which would have had Cam losing, and then they take it away and he ties the game. I guess winning percentage-wise, though, that helps him out for his playoff push, because right now I think he's the 4th seed, which is crazy.
This guy.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit. Like, when you come down to like decimals and like that kind of scoring,
It's a hell of a game,
the
man.
chances of tying are insane. Like, it's
Borderline
If
astronomical.
I lost, I was going to come on this fucking podcast and rip a new one about the
You
fucking
were?
commission.
The
Yes.
scoring
Wait. You were going to
Yep.
come in and complain
Yes.
about something
Yep.
if it didn't go well?
Yep.
I am stunned.
I was ready.
I am completely blown away by this revelation you just dropped on us.
I was going to
Wow.
complain about something for the first time this season, and it was going to be like,
The first time this season.
totally was.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Can we talk about also who's projected first and second place winners of this league?
Yes, let's
Oh.
go ahead. Cameron loves his projections.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Hove.
So there's only
H to the OV.
Okay, there's only 2 weeks left in the season. Only
I
2
might-
weeks.
I
left.
might be able to get 3 wins.
So the current
Fucking joke.
the current final projected standings are first place, Sean.
Woo!
Shit's fixed. Second place,
I'm in last place. Like,
the Golden State Buckeyes. Third place, Dan Snyder. And fourth place, Hey Darnold. And then Giants Killer is 7th. And well, yeah.
We'll leave it at that, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it right there. I don't want to talk about it. Just let me know when I got to do this goddamn punishment. Let's get it over with.
The more and more I think about it, I'm thinking like 4th of July when it's fucking packed. Okay, I'm going. Bye.
All right. Hey, have a happy Thanksgiving there, Miami Cam, from the 4th and 1 crew. continue your whatever food prep you have left there. I don't know what's going on, but
Okay.
you might be preparing for one more person, I guess.
Oh, I'm already prepared for fucking 7, so I'll see
Jesus
you. I'll be
Christ.
in the other room. Obviously, if I don't get back before you guys wrap the show up, just someone text me.
Governor Murphy said it has to be under 10, so just make sure you're
Fuck
following all
that
the
piece of shit.
Oh god.
Wait, before I go, Matt, you said you had like a big announcement. Did I miss the announcement?
You didn't miss the announcement. It's coming up.
But what if I'm not here?
Do you want me to text you before it comes up?
Well, you gotta text me anyway when the show.
Just
over.
whatever
Okay.
you guys talk about in the other room, just keep it down. I don't want to.
You can't hear. I had myself muted before. You can hear. I think, good here.
Oh
No.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Not this time.
You heard me say. You heard me say I was a killer.
What?
Hey, happy Thanksgiving! Thanksgiving, everyone. This has been 4th and 1. Well, since it is Thanksgiving and there are traditions involved, Matt, tell them where they can find us.
This Thanksgiving and holiday season, you can find us on Instagram at WhyAmIANerdOfficial. That's WHYAM, the letter I, A Nerd Official. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube at WhyAmIANerd, spelled exactly the same way. You can find us on Twitter at 4th and 1 Pod. That's the number 4, THANDWON Pod. Please like, rate, and subscribe us. 5 stars, as always, would be greatly appreciated.
Would you? Were you practicing that?
No, I didn't. I actually just had it. I had it open for once, and I was ready to go. I was like, I never have it open. I'm always like, shit, I'm gonna fuck one of them up if I don't have it to look at. This time I was ready, well ahead of time.
All right. This week's questions are sponsored by our friend Snacks McGuigan. Happy birthday! Happy Thanksgiving, Snacks. His birthday's not for a while, so we gotta wait on that one. And let's get to number 1 of our college football talk.
All right. Penn State is off to an 0-5 start. What is going on in Happy Valley? Is James Franklin going to find himself in the hot seat if he can't turn the season around?
What do you think?
Oh, this is actually really funny. I just spoke to my friend Julie, who hopefully after this issue will be a friend of the show because she didn't know I had a podcast until now. But Julie and I used to work together, and she is a huge Penn State fan. Most of the people at my old job went to Penn State. So we were discussing how they've never been 0-5 before in the past and how Jimmy Franklin fails to adapt to, he fails to adjust his team for different competition. He's kind of stuffing square pegs into round holes. And while I don't follow Penn State nearly as closely as she does, I have to agree at this point because it's incredible to me that they're 0-5 when they were good last year. You know, they can't have lost that many high caliber players to just all of a sudden just plummet like this. And I am firmly of the belief that the Big Ten should not have come back now because it's brought nothing but heartache to everyone except for the goddamn fucking piece of shit Buckeyes. Fuck Ohio State.
Yeah, it's bizarre to me that they're 0-5. I mean, he's out for the season now, but they have potential first round pick, tight end Pat Freiermuth, I believe is how you say his name, who's just a monster. He was doing nothing. And they're a top 20 recruiting school every year. They're bringing in top talent every year, and they haven't, they look, if you've watched any of their games, and I have, because I do have family that is big Penn State fans. I do have a really good, one of my best friends, shout out to Ben, huge Penn State fan. He basically told me he's he can't even watch the games at this point.
It's got to be rough. I mean, it's getting tough for me, so I got to imagine it's tough for them.
Yeah, I believe they do get to play Rutgers, but who knows how that's going to go. Rutgers is looking pretty good. But speaking of, Matt, can you read that first sentence in number 2?
Give me 1 second just to go back to that screen. I just have to inform Miami Cam that's almost time for him to return. Michigan wins. What does the 3 OT? Oh, sorry. Do you want me to read the rest?
Keep going.
Michigan wins.
Your moment.
What does the 3 OT win versus Rutgers mean for Michigan season and Harbaugh? Well, I have a couple things to say about this. I'm going to try and give our good friend Miami Cam some time to return because I know he personally wants to hear this as well. So we may need a timestamp and a pause as we prepare for what is inevitably coming. Any minute now, though, Cam. Any minute here.
Did he answer?
No, he didn't yet. I'm like, where the hell is this guy?
I mean, he muted us, so who knows what's going on. He made sure that was evident, so I don't know what's going on in the other room.
I texted him. We got to see. We got to see what happens here. Cam, are you coming back? If not, he's just going to have to listen to it.
Oh, are we having a press conference? We're
having a press conference right now. Where is Miami Cam?
Damn it.
All right, we're gonna have to go without him. He's got a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna have to cut this part out because he's not here.
But Miami Cam to the stage. Miami Cam to the stage.
Going once, going twice.
and we're back. All right, Matt's big announcement.
All right. Hello, members of the 4th and 1 podcast and the Why Am I a Nerd podcast community. I come to you today with a heavy heart. A heart that has been through the ringer and teased with the promise of victory and ascension for the last 6 years, only to be met with aches and disappointments that will sting until the sun has burned its last atom. My Michigan Wolverines were supposed to be the premier team in collegiate football with the hiring of Jim Harbaugh and return to the days of glory when the team was led by the likes of Bo Schembechler. But alas, this has not been the case. We hold a tenuous grasp on the most wins of all time. Our recruiting and performance against ranked teams has been nothing short of dismal, and it is time to move forward. It is time to move on from our beloved coach and allow him to be remembered for his stellar performances on the field instead of his lackluster efforts on the sideline. But who can lead us into this new age? Who can return Michigan to its true glory and help us return to the beacon of excellence that the world can again look to for quality winning football? Who can bring us back to the golden era other than the golden voice? I officially announced my candidacy for the head coaching position at the University of Michigan. I will field a team that will fight tooth and nail, much like the vicious and relentless carnivorous beasts we draw our name from. But I will not do this alone. I will need a staff of equally dedicated and courageous individuals to stand with me and elevate the Maize and Blue to levels never before seen and construct a dynasty that will be revered for ages to come. So I formally invite the Fins Dude, Washington Dave, and Daniel Twirly P. Manipelli to join my staff in restoring the good name of the Michigan Wolverines. For we will not go silently into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We are going to survive. Go Blue.
Wow.
Yeah, girl.
Wow. I think there might be an argument in the 4th and 1 fantasy group where Tim Whalen argues his candidacy over the Fins Dude, but that
he's not. Everyone I invited is a Michigan fan. I only invited Michigan fans. Otherwise, you guys would have been in there too. If you want to convert from your respective collegiate teams, you're more than welcome. But we are true blue here.
Wow. You heard it here first. 4th and 1, the newest candidate to replace Jim Harbaugh for the Michigan Wolverines, Mr. Matthew Ferreira.
That's right.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that announcement.
Well, that's what I said. As soon as I was like, I watched that game, I was like, nope, there's only one answer to this. People need to know. I need to come forward and let Michigan know that there is hope, that there is a future, and I am it.
So was that going – what if they what would have been your reaction if they lost to Rutgers?
I would have burned Rutgers to the ground.
I mean, realistically –
I would have called an Uber, stopped at a gas station, and burned that whole school to the ground.
Here he is.
This is the whole
Oh, he just picked up his phone.
Oh, my God.
Let's see him come back. Let's see him come back to the Batcave.
What? Did I just miss it?
I will say, I mean, even though the teams are not who they're supposed to be, whether Rutgers is supposed to be worse and Michigan's supposed to be better, the game was an entertaining game at the end. Like
our kicker is such a piece of shit. He's a felcher. I haven't used the word felch in goddamn over a decade, but he is a felcher. It's the fucking worst. Like, how do you just miss kicks? This is your job. They weren't even that far out. Like fuck.
Miami Cam, you're gonna have to timestamp and go back about 3 minutes from whatever time you have now.
Yeah.
Matt just made a huge announcement, which we try to get you back for, but you'll have to when you do your editing, you'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
This guy just walks out of the room. We tried to get you, Cam. We tried to get you.
Anti-turkey. Old prime rib. Cam.
Old prime rib Cam.
Yeah, I don't know. The game was exciting, but when it's a Rutgers team that Rutgers looks a lot better under Schiano. There's no doubt about it. But still, it's Rutgers. Like, that's the game you're supposed to that's your automatic.
That's a freebie, because Maryland doesn't look like such a pushover anymore either, with Tua's younger brother out there.
Yeah, and you know what? It's good for the Big Ten that Rutgers is actually competing at some type of level other than just getting rolled over.
Yeah, I mean, it had to happen eventually, right?
But I mean, is this going to be the game that defines, Jim Harbaugh's career, the 3 OT win versus Rutgers? It might be.
It might be the beginning of the end, I'll tell you that, because I mean, I don't plan to lose to Rutgers ever. Or if I do, Rutgers won't exist after.
Is that your first promise to the fan base? No losses to
Rutgers? My first promise to the fan base is a return to glory, and that is a win over Rutgers is included in that.
You do have Maryland December 5th, so you guys have a bye week. Oh wait, hold on. I'm wrong. You guys have who's next? You do have Maryland. My phone's about to shut off. God damn it!
Oh, it's the worst.
And the stat man. Look at we need a Michigan schedule. Because they just barely won their easiest game on the schedule.
Yeah. So I'm not super.
Obviously, have the team that we're not going to bring up right now after that roaring speech. I'm trying to think who else they're going to have in that division, but it's not going to be.
It's not. There's no real easy games anymore. Nothing can be taken for granted.
They have Penn State next.
Wow. I mean,
I don't know if I could call that easy. I mean, that losing streak has to end at some point.
Yeah, that sucks because, like you said before, like Ann said before, Penn State 0-5 start, and they've never started 0-5.
Yeah, so their backs are up against the wall. So that's now where
they literally
go and enter. Are we home or away for that game? And can you confirm that?
Home.
That might help a little bit, but without fans, who really knows? So
yeah. And I think with Maryland, I guess would be the next game, December 5th,
Yep.
and then
that's also home.
Okay.
And
minor advantages here and there.
December 12th. It's going down.
December 12th. Oh my God. I might have to live tweet some reactions or something.
Clear your schedules.
You ready?
We're watching that game.
You ready? Oh my God. Am I going to be going nuts that day?
I mean, I think we need a live feed, live record right on the couch in the Bat Cave over there in Eatontown. Should be interesting. But let's move on to number 3 and talk about a team that's doing a little better than Michigan this season.
Is Northwestern at 5-0 a real contender in the Big Ten and CFP?
I didn't even realize they were 5-0. To be honest with you, I've been so stuck in my woes that I had
pulled off a tight win against Wisconsin last week. I mean, are they a real contender in the Big Ten? Yeah, absolutely. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Ohio State showed a lot of weaknesses against Indiana.
Indiana's been surprisingly good.
Yeah, I think they're a lot better than anyone's going to give them credit for. But, at the same time, Justin Fields, probably at this point, not a future New York Giant quarterback, but he had, I guess, 3 interceptions all last year, and he had 3 interceptions in that game.
Wow.
So I think probably that kind of hurt his draft stock a little bit against an Indiana team that just went after him. But Yeah, I mean, college football playoff, I don't think Northwestern could even touch any of those other teams. I just athletically, they're just not even close.
Yeah, they're playing well in, all divisional games.
Yeah.
But
And like you said, the Big Ten is kind of like a shit show. They shouldn't have come back. But, you guys, they're taking advantage of a situation, and they have a great coach in Pat Fitzgerald. So, I think we're obviously going to see them probably in the Big Ten championship game, possibly against, a school that we're not going to bring up again. But let's go to number 4.
With some coaches already being fired, which coaches should be allowed a mulligan for the season due to COVID-19? Which ones will be gone after this season?
Well, let's go right to your Michigan Wolverines. Is Harbaugh given a pass this year by the administration due to COVID?
nope. If he had shown enough in the past or won a playoff game or beaten Ohio State, I'm saying not won a playoff game, won a bowl game or made the playoffs or beaten Ohio State, sure, he definitely would have. Even if he somehow beats Ohio State this year, then the new coaching candidate,
I think
would probably rescind.
Quoted though. I think you're quoted on this episode saying if he beats Ohio State, he will stay as the coach.
He will. He 100% will, and I'll rescind my candidacy if he does. I will gladly do that. But I want him to. I really do. Like I don't know who out there is a fan of Dragon Ball Z, but like Goku with the Spirit Bomb, I'm sending him all my energy. I'm like, just fucking win. Like, I don't even care if it's a tight win. I don't care if it takes a technicality or a field goal. Just fucking do it. Just get it done. We haven't won since Shoelace. Like, I just want to see it. Just want it.
He wants it. What about other coach? Do you think other coaches, and no specific names, are given kind of like, hey, there's a lot of shit going on in the world, COVID-19, you had to deal with this, and this. Do you think that's going to affect whether people are brought back, or even the simple fact that, like, if you fire a coach during this time, the opportunities for other jobs they might not be there, because I think there's going to be a lot of coordinators who could kind of bump up, but are they going to want to leave their situation during this pandemic?
Yeah.
To deal with their families in different situations? I think it's a tough.
Yeah, totally pick up and move.
Situation.
I mean, I think it's going to be more of a case-by-case basis. If you have a proven history of success or failure, that's going to be the biggest determining factor in how hot your seat is. I think if you're a first-year coach and you're not performing well, then absolutely you get a pass. But if you're like, a seasoned coach with either a mixed record or a poor record, then you're probably out the door. This is probably the last string.
Right. Like, if this was your prove-it season,
yeah,
you didn't prove it. Like, they're giving you one more shot. You're probably going to.
Yes, especially if you were a coach that was pushing to come back. I mean, someone who might not be named, because I do want to give him good luck for the last game of the season. Then your seat's probably on fire, and it's probably in part due to your own, doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think it's going to be, like you said, a case by case basis. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens once we get to that point. But as far as I'm concerned, let's keep enjoying having college football on. It is a great time of the year, especially with these Big Ten games and these other games that are going to be pushed back a little later in the season. You might have some crazy weather games and starting in December, when they're usually playing bowl games in Florida and Texas and California. So it's something else to look forward to that's different. And let's go to our last one here, Ant.
Are you worried by number of games being canceled due to COVID? With teams running out of time to make games up, what happens to these games that keep getting postponed?
I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't think they're going to make them up.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. I think there's right now there's obviously a lot of controversy with Florida State canceling their game against Clemson. Clemson went all the way down there. They had a guy that had a positive test after they landed, and he had been on the plane with the whole team. Florida State basically said, we want to cancel the game. We don't want to risk our players' health. And now there's a lot of he said, she said with the coach of Clemson and the coach of Florida State, and they're kind of pointing fingers and blaming each other. Basically, Clemson fans think they canceled the game because they didn't want to get their ass kicked, essentially. But they said they'd reschedule the game, hopefully. But I believe the ACC championship game and that championship weekend is December 19th. So like, there's not that many more.
Yeah, there's not much they can really do unless they push the full thing back, which isn't really fair.
19th.
What are you drinking there? A little
red wine.
Oh wow.
The last of the bottle.
Got to keep it classy on Thanksgiving Eve.
You can tell Matt was a waiter. You see that turn at the end?
You got to get the flick of the wrist.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're just going to cancel games. I think there will be certain situations where, if they don't affect the standings and they're not must play necessary games to determine something, they're just going to postpone them and just cancel them all together and say, you know what? Special situation. That's it. All right. Before we get into our NFL questions, let's get a word from our sponsor.
Why Am I a Nerd podcast network has been brought to you by our sponsor, Me Moms. The best breakfast and lunch down the Jersey Shore with 3 great locations in Wall Township, Middletown, and Brick, New Jersey. Me Moms specializes in unique and fun takes on your traditional lunch and breakfast items. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can find more information at www.memoms.com.
Bad news for this breaks my heart. Bad news for the Bengals as number 1 overall pick from last year's draft leaves the game with a knee injury. Joe Burrow tore his ACL, MCL, and suffered other structural issues. Even though it was now cut short by injury, what did you think of the first season he had?
I mean, commenting on the injury, when they say structural issues, like that to me does not sound like something he's going to come back even next year from.
Oof.
Which
he definitely messed up some things there, which sucks.
It didn't look good. It's not like obviously like one of the worst. You have like a Dak Prescott injury where it's like a clean break when you get twisted up though, and it's in your knee. Like you can't just clean break that. Like you're gonna have to rip anything you can in there to move there. It's not a good situation. But where are you at as far as his first season, Matt?
Honestly, it was phenomenal. Like he was on pace to, I think, set or exceed almost every single record by a rookie quarterback. Like it was nothing short of phenomenal. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame that Cincinnati was, their offensive line is still kind of patchwork at best. They haven't had Joe Mixon out there. So he really hasn't had much help, and he was still, they weren't winning games, but he was getting it done. He was performing. They were competing in some of these games. My heart goes out to the kid. I hope he can come back. But like you said, it's tough when there's significant structural damage to your knee. Like, you can't really I don't want to say you can't overcome that, but it's tough to compensate for that, if that makes sense.
You can't really put every person's different. So you can't really put, he'll be back at this time because we really don't know. It sounds pretty severe, obviously, with you tear the ACL, obviously just in general is a long injury to come back from. Yeah. Throw the MCL in there, and then they say other structural issues. It's like, what is this guy going to have to do to really get back to his top level that he was at to get back on the field?
Yeah. And from what I know of injuries like that, the strength of the muscles surrounding those ligaments is a pretty big factor in how quickly you can come back, which is why someone like Adrian Peterson was able to, come back so quickly and look like he didn't miss a step. Like, that guy's in such phenomenal shape that the other muscles were able to compensate. And so he didn't have that long of a recovery time. For Joe Burrow, while I'm sure he's in shape, I doubt he's in the lower leg shape that Adrian Peterson was in.
Yeah. Yeah, prayers out to Joey B on Twitter. Hopefully he has a recovery and comes back strong because he's a fun player to watch. And, in all honesty, I have a lot of respect for that guy.
Likewise, same.
Let's go to another rookie here. Question number 2.
Tua is pulled and replaced by Fitzpatrick, and the Dolphins lost to Denver. Should we make anything of this change?
I'm actually surprised. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
So I spoke with the Fins dude and a couple other Dolphins fans about this. The inside source. And the general thing is that Flores pulled him because he felt that he wasn't playing well and that Fitzpatrick gave them a better chance to win. But everyone I've spoken to generally disagrees with this move by Flores. He kind of need to leave Tua in there to learn. You know what I mean? If he's having a bad game, let him have a bad game, but give him the chance to come back. He's been one of the more clutch quarterbacks we've ever seen. He came in as a true freshman and won the CFB. So like you've got to think he's got some kind of clutch gene in there, and he would have found a way to correct things. So I disagree with the move by Flores, but Flores has proved to be a pretty capable coach so far. You know, he's taken that team from the brink and brought them into, honestly, a true playoff contender. I don't know if they're a Super Bowl contender this year, but I do think they can make some noise and upset some teams in the playoffs. So I hope Tua grows and continues to improve. I know he injured his thumb today, and it was his throwing thumb, because at first I dismissed it that it was his left thumb, and I was like, oh, that's right, he's a lefty. So hopefully it's nothing major, but I hope he comes back and, you know, continues to play well throughout the season.
Yeah, I think two things. One, when the Dolphins are in the playoff hunt, they're trying to get obviously a wild card spot, you know, with the Bills in that division.
I mean, I think how far are they behind the Bills in terms of, can you look that up?
I think they're pretty close. Like the Bills
I think they're like, yeah.
They have
AFC
East.
Yeah.
East.
Yeah, I think when you're that close to, you know, Flores needs to get in the playoffs at this point. You know, this is kind of like, yes, has he had a great season? Yeah, but he needs to kind of get into the playoffs, give his team, show the fan base that, you know, he's the guy that can build this team for years to come. My only other thing, though, is like you pull Tua, you know, does that do anything to his confidence? You know, you pull him out of the game and replace him. It's this back and forth thing where, you know, who's your quarterback? Is it going back to Tua now? If they start getting blown out and they're in a close situation, are they going to switch? You know, I wouldn't want anything in Tua's mind to be like,
am I good enough?
Am I the good enough? Am I the guy? Why are they switching me out? You know, it's a little weird, but I don't know. You know, I'm obviously not there. I'm sure Tua is a professional and it's like, okay, I understand. I got to learn. Yeah. So, I mean, you can only hope that, you know, there's a good communication between the coach and quarterback, and, you know, they have a plan going forward. But yeah, did you get the record on that, Ant?
Yeah, they're a game behind. Bills are sitting at 73, Dolphins 6-4.
So they're in reach. I mean, they're obviously going to, I believe, probably play each other again, which is going to be a huge game. But, you know, that makes a little more sense that he tried to maybe light a fire under either one of those guys and try to pull out a victory, but I don't know. Let's go to number 3.
Steelers win again. They moved to 10-0 for the first time in franchise history. When will you consider them a real threat? Are you still not impressed by their start?
I'm not impressed by their start because they should be 9-1. They should have lost to the New York Football Giants week 1, but we didn't get the ball to Saquon enough. We didn't put Saquon in position to succeed for us that night. That's where I'm going to leave that. Dan
Dimes threw the ball right to them to change.
That's true. That is very true. You know, we had that in the bag, but I will say they've improved since then. They've got a shit ton of weapons. I still don't think Roethlisberger makes it through the season, but I also think their streak would have ended against the Ravens tomorrow had that game continued. So we'll see what happens for Sunday now that both teams get a little extra prep time.
Yeah, I think that's more beneficial for the Ravens, obviously. Am I impressed? I'm impressed by their start. Sure. 10-0 is hard to do in any sport, anything, you know, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, anyone can win. However, you know, the teams they're beating just don't impress me. Like they haven't played the top teams. When they beat one of those teams, then I'll say, all right, maybe they're for real. But when, you know, you get to play the NFC East, the teams in their division at this point, the Browns are terrible.
Yeah.
The Ravens, I mean, they're gonna play them again, but like they haven't looked great. You know, there's a lot of question marks in my eyes. So now let's talk about a real division here. Let's go to number 4.
The NFC East is up for grabs. With everyone virtually tied, what do you think will happen for the rest of the season? Who is the favorite to win the division?
I'll be the first to say it. I have no fucking idea. I mean, this has been a goddamn roller coaster. To
say the least.
The best thing for us, because we all know that we don't have a shot in the playoffs, is for Philadelphia to win so they get the 21st pick. I mean,
that's honestly what I would love to see happen. I would love to see the Giants compete, play through the rest of the season strong, and still draft in the top 10. You know what I mean? I think that's our possible best case scenario. But if they make the playoffs, obviously, I don't think we're going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, I would love to say that, but I don't think we're deep enough to do that. But I think that would be good for the future of the team. I think we'd see a lot more of the coaching staff, i.e., Graham, stay retained with the team as opposed to going somewhere else. So there's pros and cons. But hopefully, you know, we don't see too much turnover.
I mean, we are 5.5-point favorites this week against the Cincinnati Bengals. So if we lose to the Bengals with no Joe Burrow
and Joe Mixon,
I mean, then someone's getting fired. And I know Jason Garrett's name has been mentioned as on the hot seat.
Well, you know who really needs to go is Gettleman. I'm sorry. I know he put together a lot of pieces this year. He brought in the top free agents, but like, duh. Like, you know, I don't know what else can really be done.
But like you said, he's going to be not only the scapegoat, he's the reason why.
He's the architect. Yeah.
Why we're looking at this as like, you know, we're building towards next year. It's year 3 for him. He should have had this ready to go.
Yeah.
Years ago. And where are you as far as the Cowboys? What do you think they're going to do the rest of the season? I mean, I it's hard to say though, because they play well last week.
Oh yeah.
They had a bye week, right? The week before that.
Yeah.
Dalton got healthy. Maybe some guys got a little more healthier. It's just tough to say because these teams don't play consistent at all. Like you don't know what they're going to do ever.
It's something new every week.
Yeah. And
every time.
Obviously the Giants, 2 of their wins are against the Washington football team. So, you know, we don't get to play them the rest of the season. So it'll be interesting to see what the Giants can do. Washington also won this past week. So, you know, everyone's in contention here. I don't think it's an easy prediction. I think you kind of have to see how the next couple of weeks play out to kind of name a favorite to win the division. If it does though happen, week 17, the Giants play the Cowboys. Will that be for the division? It could be.
Jesus Christ. We'd have to watch that game together.
Yes,
for sure.
Watch party number 2 for Giants Cowboys. So that'd be interesting. I mean, would I love to see that? Yeah, sure. Why not? Like that would just be a great for either team to be able to, you know, cap off their season with a last week victory to get into the playoffs. Let's continue with number 5 for the NFC East here.
Is it time to give up on Wentz? Yes. What is happening to the former first rounder? Should the move on to give Jalen Hurts a chance? Is the Eagles' issue move just more than just that quarterback? Jesus Christ.
I think the Eagles do have a lot of injuries, but they also I feel like they've had the same problems for years. Like, yes, they won the Super Bowl, and that's like one of those magical runs where they weren't the favorite team to win, but they put together a run like the Giants have done. So it's tough to say. I don't know. I'm not a fan of their roster. Their offensive line is subpar. They never can find a great receiver. I mean, their DBs are always terrible. I don't know. I mean, as far as Wentz goes, the guy just doesn't look like he has it. I don't know what to say about him.
I was going to say, at one point, I really thought Wentz was going to be the future. I was like, fuck, we got to play this guy twice a year.
Right.
I think the Washington football team literally beat him into the ground. And I think that completely left him shell-shocked for the rest of the season. I'm shocked he hasn't made some kind of comeback or performance to show otherwise, especially with Hurts, you know, right on his heels, just being drafted this year. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I think you just got it beaten out of him. Feel kind of bad for the guy.
I think if one of the teams in the NFC East was running away with the division and they didn't have a chance to win, I think you would see them bench him and give Jalen Hurts a shot. I wouldn't be shocked. There's a reason they're not putting Jalen Hurts in. And, you know, there's a reason why Jalen Hurts got outplayed and transferred from Alabama to go to Oklahoma because of Tua. Jalen Hurts, while in theory is, you know, obviously a guy they spent a high draft pick on, he's also a guy that might need some more time in that system to kind of pick up everything they're doing. But I think they have way more issues than just the QB. I know Philly fans, and they always criticize the GM after they won the Super Bowl. Just some of the moves he makes. They always draft like a first round receiver that doesn't work out. They kind of don't build it how you see a lot of successful teams build their squads. So I don't know. I mean, better for the Giants if they suck. So we're screwed. All right, last NFL question here, and then we'll go to the NBA.
Christian McCaffrey has now missed another 2 games and expected to miss a third. Did Panthers make a mistake in bringing him back before he was 100%? Or do you think this could be them holding him out in the season where they aren't playoff relevant anymore?
I think the Panthers have looked surprisingly pretty damn good. They were supposed to be like the worst defense, laughingstock of the league, and they look good.
Yeah, they're not bad.
They probably can hold them. I think that's the thing. Like, they are in contention to possibly make a playoff run. Maybe they're pushing them back a little too early. It's the NFL. You can get hurt at any time, so it's tough to say. I mean, Mike Davis was doing amazing for them, so I'm not really sure. You want to have the game changers in there. So, I mean, Christian McCaffrey obviously is an MVP type player. You want him in the lineup as much as possible. Yeah. So does that force you to bring him back before he's 100%? Absolutely.
I actually don't think they did for exactly the reason you said. I think Mike Davis played really, really well for them. And so I think what ended up happening was Christian McCaffrey came back, had an amazing game, played stellar out of his mind. That very last play or second to last play, he hurt his shoulder. And they're like, all right, this might be more serious than we thought. You're going to sit for a little bit and we're kind of going to go from there. I think is what ended up happening.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Let's say Mike Davis played like shit and they're like, oh, we're doomed. They're either going to lose those games that they ended up winning, or they're going to win them and be like, we need McCaffrey back now.
Yeah.
Or we're not going to be able to. But since Mike Davis was holding his own, he kind of tailed off. I mean, you saw it. I saw it more with the fantasy scores where he was hot those first 3 games, then he just he disappeared. And maybe that's just why Mike Davis hasn't had that opportunity to be a feature back is because he's not meant to have that role of carrying the workload for that many.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to do.
Tough to do. I agree, Matt. Let's go to the NBA. Finish up here.
Okay. With Clay having a torn ACL and out for this season again, is it time to consider the Warriors dynasty over?
I think as long as you have Steph Curry there, you can build around him with other pieces. Is it detrimental? Absolutely, but you got to roll with the Steph Curry train as long as that guy's that age and still playing that well.
No, I agree. I mean, Steph Curry is the best shooter, probably the pure shooter the league's ever seen. One thing he's not, though, is clutch. I feel like he kind of disappears in some of those finals games. He's not really blowing up the stat line like you'd expect a player of his caliber to. But the fact that they got, the second overall pick in this year's draft, completely fucking absurd. So I think they'll find a way to rebuild and kind of be okay. Because, who the fuck has that ever happened to? That you come back to back, you're one of the most prolific scoring teams in history. You got the best record in the history of the league, and then all of a sudden you lose a superstar player. One guy gets hurt, and then you wind up with the second pick. What? So,
yeah, I mean, you still have Draymond there. You got the second pick. You have James Wiseman, he was basically the top high school player going into college, and he's a big man. I think how they play is going to have to change. But they're still going to be a contender. Like you said, it's absurd. Clay, does Clay being out hurt them? Absolutely. That guy, he could have, if he stayed healthy, he was going to be a top money guy. He probably wasn't going to stay there. He's probably going to take the money and run. But are they do they need to rebuild? They don't need to because they just got the second pick in the draft.
Yeah, it's fucking.
How do you top that? Some other guys on their team. Who did they have? Andrew Wiggins. While he hasn't lived up to his number 1 pick potential. I mean, they have some guys here that it's tough to say that they're not contenders when you have Steph Curry, Draymond, Wiggins, and then you have the new guy Wiseman. But I mean, if I were to say any of these other players, you would have no idea who they were. So, one more injury away from getting, a top 3 pick again.
Am I crazy? Where did Iguodala go?
I don't know actually. If anyone wants to look that up, I thought he was there, but I think they released him and he signed with someone else last year, and I don't know if he's retiring or what, but he's that solid role player, solid.
Oh yeah.
Team. Andre Iguodala, the vet.
The Heat.
Did he really? I didn't realize that.
Speaking of Steph Curry, are you going to be watching his golf match coming up?
I'm not, but that is interesting. I still get confused every time because they're talking about Charles Barkley. I keep thinking it's Saquon just because I love the guy. But I'm probably not going to watch it, but I will go back for the highlights.
Yeah, I think it's more of like an entertainment thing. You're obviously not watching these guys. You're not watching Charles play for pure skill.
Right.
Miami Cam's muted, so he's trying to say something right now.
I don't know. He's trapped in a box. Are you in a glass case of emotion?
You're muted.
He made a face.
For those who can't
see him, yeah, he made a face at what I just said to him. We have no clue what he's saying back.
All right, well, let's move on to the next one until he comes back on air.
I'm not talking to you guys at all. I'm having a conversation.
Oh.
Bro, we were talking to you, and then you started stalking and looking at the camera, and we were like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, really? What'd y'all say?
We were talking about the. What's your opinion on the Steph Curry, the match?
Oh, I think it's a fucking joke. I think it's the stupidest thing in the world. The only reason I can think that they did that was because apparently Charles Barkley is like god awful, like worse than anything in the world, and.
Yo, guys, should you squish it? Let's go to the next one.
Lakers have been adding pieces and depth into free agency. Are the Lakers a favorite to repeat next season?
Absolutely. I mean, they just added Dontrez Harrell, who was the 6th man of the year on the Clippers. So you steal him from your rival, essentially. He's averaging 19.7 rebounds and a block per game. The Lakers, besides LeBron and Anthony Davis, didn't have anybody that could match those numbers. I believe they also signed Marc Gasol.
I saw that. Yeah.
It's honestly, I think that there's gonna be a repeat, pretty locked up at this point, just based on who they're adding. At the same time, you do see teams. Dennis Schroeder, Wesley Matthews, and Marc Gasol are new additions to the Lakers. You're basically adding all these potential former all-star players to your bench. Now, is Marc Gasol the same Marc Gasol he was? No. I mean, Dennis Schroeder's a solid player. Wes Matthews is a 3-point threat, but it's interesting to see what the Lakers are doing right now.
But it's to what you said though, that's smart. They're signing these old vets that pretty much know how to get it done. They're coming in as role players, and they're not spotty role players. They're guys that know what's up. They're like, all right, I'm going to be here. I'm going to do this. We're going to win a title. Like, they just need to get through the season, then to go off in the playoffs, which is exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that could derail them has to do with question 3 here.
Do you think Anthony Davis will sign a long-term deal with the Lakers?
He's still not signed. Still not signed.
I think he's going to. Like, he would be an idiot not to. You know what I mean? Like, stay there. If you're a legend in LA, you're a legend in LA. Look at the way, Kobe and Shaq are revered. Magic Johnson's revered. Like, win a couple titles in LA, retire a legend. Just do it. Just stay there. Don't go somewhere. Where are you going to go? Fucking Milwaukee? Like, get the fuck out of here. Stay there and take the cash. Like, come on.
Apparently, they're saying he wants to. The rumor is he wants to wait to see the full roster before signing.
Wow. I mean, that's probably why they're bringing on every possible top player they can afford. It's just crazy. I mean, to think that they're going to be even better than they were this year it is
nuts.
It's nuts. And, you don't have, who's going to stop these guys at this point? It's tough. The West isn't what it used to be at all.
Nah.
It's whatever conference LeBron goes to, all the other teams just weaken automatically somehow. I don't know what it is, but let's go to our last one here.
Excitement level for the start of the NBA season in less than a month on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm at like an 8 right now. Like the Knicks have no expectations. I can go and watch them play. And while I'm saying this, Ant, can you find out I don't know are they doing a bubble again? I'm assuming they're not, but I feel like they might. I don't know. I haven't heard.
They probably
should. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't heard anything about it, but they probably should.
Yeah. I mean, as a Knicks fan, I like what we're doing. We didn't use cap space. We still have plenty of cap space. We didn't make those, the Gordon Hayward rumored signing, which I wouldn't have been for anyway. We have someone new running the organization. We got a top pick that grew up a Knicks fan. Pictures released of Obi Toppin with a Sprewell jersey on.
Wow.
And he was the 8th pick, and I think he's going to be number 8. So that's a little a weird situation, but pretty cool. So yeah, I'm excited just to watch a Knicks team with zero expectations go out and play and just see what these young guys can do. And I'm assuming you being a Magic fan with a lot of returning players and adding some more pieces that you have some improved expectations for your team this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping we can make the playoffs for a 3rd year in a row. I also hope that this year we finish at a seed other than 8, so we're not only winning one game in that first round of the playoffs and getting blown out by, not blown out, but then losing the other 4 to the eventual, first seed. So I'm definitely optimistic. We'll see though. It's tough because I can barely watch them, and now it's like I can go to a bar and catch them anymore either.
Right.
So we'll see how I'm going
to get that NBA package.
I know. It's just like I'm holding off on it, but I'm probably going to have to do it.
We will do an NBA preview of our teams prior to the season starting. So that'll be in the next couple.
Next like 2 weeks, yeah.
So no talks about a bubble because they're saying the NBA is anticipating 5 to 10 teams will allow fans to be present at games to start the season. It's difficult to nail down which teams would feel comfortable letting fans in. But, for example, the Warriors have submitted an ambitious plan for 50% capacity at the Chase Center. But the Lakers have already announced their games will be held without fans until further notice.
I mean, that's interesting. I think that's going to cause issues. Obviously, we're seeing it happen in other sports. I mean, the NFL, it really hasn't happened at all. The NBA obviously have a lot smaller rosters, so maybe they can control it better. It'll be interesting to see because the bubble had zero problems, other than someone sneaking someone in or them leaving to pick up their chicken wings or whatever they were getting that time. But I mean, it's nice. It's nice to see those teams play in their own environments and not at like a summer league type of kind of feeling. And having the Knicks play in the Garden, that's going to be awesome to see. Having Orlando play in Orlando with no other teams playing in Orlando, that's going to be fun to see. I'm just maybe interested to see how they do the travel. What are the protocols they're going to put in place? They did a great job with the bubble, but this is kind of all new ground for them as well. So we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. But December 22nd, I believe, is the start of the NBA season. 72-game season this year, which I think is good. And I think we'll get some preseason games the start of like December 10th, I believe. I think we got like 11th.
December 11th.
11th?
Yep. 11th to the 19th.
So we got, 8 days of preseason. Kind of. Maybe we'll have to fit our episode in right during that time. I think that's a good spot to start it off at. But
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, this has been it's always good getting together. It's like to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'm obviously thankful that we're able to do this, just about every week. Thankful
Hell yeah.
for you guys coming on here. And it's, it's just fun to talk sports and not have to, have this be something we do for fun. And Wish it could be. Maybe one day it'll be a job for us. I mean, who knows?
That would be fucking sweet.
But I'm thankful to have you guys and everyone that listens to us, whether it be 1, 2, or 3 people. It doesn't matter. We love doing this, whether someone listens or someone doesn't. So we'll be here anyway. And a big thanks to Miami Cameron James, for obviously holding it down, editing this shit, putting it on YouTube.
He can't see, but he's giving thumbs up,
making us look good. Hopefully he doesn't edit out Matt's speech. So
yeah, hopefully not.
What do you guys? What are you guys thankful for this year? 2020 has been an interesting year.
Yeah, that it has. I would say I'm probably most thankful for, outside of this podcast, making it through the year. I mean, for the amount of shit that's happened for on a more serious note, like the mental health of damn near everybody in the country, like we made it through. You know what I mean? Like for all the upheaval and shitty things and murder hornets and states and countries being on actual fire, we're making it through. So I'm thankful for that, showing resiliency in the face of adversity, and hopefully just continuing on. Let's hope 2021 is fucking better.
You know what I think after that? Michigan's hiring you, bro. Michigan's going to hire you.
Let's hope so.
I wonder if he found it yet. He said he was going to go back and listen and edit, but I don't know.
Yep.
No. Who are you talking about? What about you, Ant? You got a big. I mean, look. I mean, hey, not to get sentimental, tomorrow is not just Thanksgiving for you, but it's kind of like a family thing for you guys, where you're going to get to spend time together as a family with you and your sister. And my heart, my heart goes out. I couldn't imagine that happening, to someone in my family, and
taking my niece and nephew away from me.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're doing it for a good opportunity for their family.
Yeah, no, it's teach their own.
It gives you an excuse to go to Georgia. So
yeah,
we're in Georgia.
I think like an hour from Atlanta.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Probably East Kakalaki, Georgia.
Yeah, East Kakalaki. It's actually, I think Conyer is the name.
Oh,
so East Conyer maybe. But thankful for family, friends, health, and that we all still got jobs.
Right.
Excellent.
Especially during this year.
Damn straight.
Because it's rough. It's rough out there in the streets.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Thanks to Aunt Valent for keeping the streets safe out there.
This
holiday season. Matt, before we go, tell them where they can find us.
Well, if you're on Instagram this holiday season, you can find us at Why Am I a Nerd Official. That's WHY, the AM, the letter I, a Nerd Official. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube at Why Am I a Nerd, spelled exactly the same way. And you can find us on Twitter at 4th and 1 Pod. That's the number 4, THANDWON Pod. Please like, rate, and subscribe. 5 stars would be greatly appreciated.
All right, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for always listening and watching. And, we'll catch you next time. I'm Sean.
And I'm Matt.
Adios.
Take it easy.